Ooh, I like this. So, Arkansas Beta was a reward ship for beta testers. Okay. It's a tier 4 Wyoming, the A hull of the Wyoming. That's the appearance of the ship. Okay. It does not have any anti-air whatsoever. It does have access, however, to a whole slew of your extra modifications here. For example, you can mount main battery modification 3 on a tier 4 battleship. I want you to think about that for a second. Okay? You could put artillery plotting room. You could go for aux mod. It also has the ability to put concealment on it, or in this case, you're using torpedo lookout, or you can go ship consumables. And a tier 4, I can't remember if damage control is also a thing or not.
What do you mean?
I can't remember if other tier 4 ships have access to slot 4.
No.
It's been a long time since I've played tier 4.
Tier 4
Um,
only has access to slot 1 and 2,
yeah.
I think.
So you get the idea. It's expensive to build it up because it costs a lot of credits. But you do have the ability
It
to
was
really modify
actually
the ship.
it was actually really, really bad initially. I didn't even have that kind of stuff. Wargaming eventually buffed it. Like, a lot of people who got the ship actually sold it because it was so bad.
Yes, but it could always it could always do these modules. But what the problem was with
I
the
don't
ship
think it
was,
could. I don't think it could
yeah, it
initially.
could. It could. I remember spending a ton of credits on those modules and thinking, boy, did I just waste a ton of my time. Grinding it all out. You know what I mean? Um, what what Wargaming did to change it is they changed the if I remember right, they changed the gun characteristics. They also changed the secondaries. So the secondaries have a longer range and I believe have a better rate of fire. So you could do meme secondary builds, kind of like what we're looking at here. Because I remember when I played the heck out of it a long time ago, I'd always went for artillery plotting room, and that's where I learned to do that over reload. Originally, I did reload.
You can definitely go for the accuracy here.
Mm-hmm.
And also go with the range mod in the third slot then.
Yeah.
It's probably the way more consistent build too,
Mm-hmm.
but this is a more fun build.
Of course. Ever since Wargaming changed the secondaries to have, let me pull this up here, right? Your secondaries now you've got your, oh my god, you're using halls anyway. So you know you're buffed out to 6.8 kilometer. Before it was I think like 4 or 4.5 that you can get it out to, and then of course your reload time. Look at that, under 5 seconds. So and I think if I'm right, they also buffed the fire chance on it or something along those lines. Um, so
I don't
now,
remember what changes were, but they
yeah.
were significant.
hmm So now the meme secondary build is the way to go. Remember, I said it's got no anti-air whatsoever. So back in the old RTSCV days, it was painful to play, but you also learned, because of the ship, you learned how to dodge torpedo bombers. Because if you didn't, you just died. And that's the part where Grunty was saying people got fed up and said, well, hell with it, and they just sold their ship and said, well, I got a port slot and a whole bunch of credits out of it. Um, Wargaming now, you can go, and if any of you guys are listening to this and you did do that and you sold your Archie Beta, you can request to have it back as long as you've got the slot, the credits, blah, blah, blah. I believe that you can get that added back onto your account.
You can.
Um, One of my favorite experiences in this is actually I won a major giveaway from iChase playing this ship, actually, because I was super frustrated with the initial season of Ranked. I said, to hell with this, I'm going to go and do something else. And iChase had his Monday Rules challenges, and he had his, I don't remember, 100,000, 250,000 subscriber giveaway. And I won the top prize. The challenge was to take a tier 4 battleship, sail it in reverse the entire time, and I think it was to fire HE as well. I know at the very least you had to sail and reverse the entire match, and I won. I had the most damage, and I had so much fun doing it. because I literally just set fire to everything. Um, and that very well might have saved my career in warships. Seriously. Anyway, let's get back to your build. So you've got Halsey, and you choose to put Halsey in a meme secondary build. So I'm gonna say it this way, Grunty. Tell me you're not a battleship main without telling me you're not a battleship main. Right? Oh boy.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, well, I guess. I wouldn't like even if I wasn't. I would probably prefer Halsey on a Des Moines anyway over a battleship,
Oh yeah,
which
for
means
for
you
the main
could
ship,
use it
yes,
on
you.
a battleship as a premium battleship anyway. And I mean, you could run this build on a Massachusetts.
I'm
It's maybe not
completely
ideal, but you could.
I'm completely messing with you. But yes, I mean, so there's two builds in the battleships for American, right? There's your standard kind of tank build and whatever, or there's, the secondary build. There's really nothing else in between. I mean, you could try, but that's pretty much your standard. And you're right, you don't necessarily need Halsey on a battleship on that. I think I'd agree with you. Halsey's much better on a Des Moines than anything else because you want to proc um, what's a Confederate, right? And to get Confederate to proc, you have to do, what is it, 20% damage to like 4 different ships or something like that, or hit 4 ships and do 20% of
Six,
overall. I don't remember.
six ships, 20% of their hit points each.
6. So the point I'm getting at is it's difficult to do, especially in a battleship, because in a
Oh.
battleship you're typically focusing one target dead, one target dead, one target dead. By the time you get to the 6th, the game's already over. But in a Des Moines, you can be like, here, get some, and then here, get some, and then here, get some, and then like everybody gets to have a turn
Yeah,
at
it's
your
easy,
AG.
right?
Yeah,
You raid a destroyer, you deal 2 salvos to him, you have the 20% threshold on that target.
bingo. Move on to the next. So Halsey on a Des Moines, it makes sense. And then hey, I'm just gonna go throw him on any old battleship. Fine, sure. So you've gone with demolition expert at tier 1. So you really want the memes with the secondaries.
Yeah, you probably, honestly, preventive maintenance is probably better because with that secondary build, you don't have the main armaments mod. So you kind of tend to lose a turret once in a while.
Yeah.
And so preventive maintenance is probably the better skill as tier 1.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going full memes here, so
Right. Right. No, I agree with you there. I would probably, have done that. So, okay. And then you've got Grease the Gears, makes perfect sense. Vigilance, Adrenaline Rush, Close Quarters. Okay. And then your two secondary skills. Now, Vigilance.
so the reason for vigilance is this. I don't actually know if that bug still exists, but it used to be there.
Bug.
So
What bug?
if you look at the torpedo lookout module,
Okay.
that sets the torpedo distance at 1.8 kilometers.
Yes.
So, and if you put vigilance on top on it, what do you expect? You expect 1.8 kilometers times 1.25. So you expect to spot a torpedo at like 2 kilometers distance, plus minus.
Uh-huh.
What actually happened with this model on and vigilance, you spotted a torpedo at 3 kilometers.
Okay, so it's much higher than what it's supposed to be.
I don't know, the numbers don't add up at all. I haven't tested in a while, and
Okay.
I haven't respected that captain in a while, but it used to be that way, and that's why he still has vigilance.
Okay. Because once upon a time, this used to be target acquisition module and not torpedo lookout system. It did something similar for torpedoes, but it also increased your assured acquisition of the enemy at 3 kilometers instead of 2, which caused a lot of fun. But
yeah, the whole reason here is it's low tier, it's a lot of torp spam.
Mhm.
It's
So-
plus 1.8.
Cookie is pointing out it's plus 1.8. So you take your standard, which is whatever your torpedo spotting distance is, and then add 1.25% or multiply by 1.25%, and then you add 1.8 on top of it.
I never noticed this. Is it actually?
Hmm.
I mean, it says here, I can see it, but
Okay.
I was running the tests and training with No, it doesn't say. If you look in game, the module says assured acquisition range of torpedoes 1.8 kilometer. It doesn't say plus in game.
Okay. Interesting.
And the reason why it's so good here in this lower tier environment is because the torpedoes at lower tiers are usually rather slow. But they are very stealthy because they're so slow.
Right.
But with this module, you put a torpedo that would usually be spotted at 0.9 kilometers, and you suddenly spot it at 0.8, and then you put in the vigilance, whether it's bugged or not, and then you spot that slow torpedo at 3 kilometers,
Mhm.
and you're actually be able to dodge it in a battleship.
Right.
I have to go in a training room with someone and actually test it when they fire torpedoes back at me at what distance I actually can see them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll do that tomorrow.
Be kind of fun to look at, but in case, let's go ahead and continue the build. By the way, this does work with hydroacoustic, or vigilance kind of goes along with it, so you know, it's kind of nice.
I think it's kind of overkill, but if you really hate torpedoes, sure.
Yeah, but I agree with you at tier 4. At the lower tiers, this comes in very handy. It's also like, if you think about it, the main opponent, the main predator of the Archie Beta is probably going to be like one of the Kamikaze triplets, right? The Kamikaze, the Fuji, and Kamiar. So
You already
obviously
up
this
tiered
helps.
against those, like you see tier 3s and 4s regularly.
Right. So, okay, and the other thing I want to mention is close quarters. Now, close quarters is interesting because it increases your main battery reload speed if an enemy is spotted within your ship's secondary range. So if you're going secondary build and increases your secondary range, then that essentially makes it easier for your main guns to get that reload boost. So you have to keep that in mind. But you've got this completely spec'd for complete brawling.
Yep.
One thing you could consider at tier 4 is switching over to fire prevention, just simply because you're on 3 fires instead of 4, max, right?
That would be the one 4-point skill I really miss on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
But you could, if you want to be
Yep.
a little bit more survival focused. Like, I would definitely do it if you go with the regular build and take your artillery plotting rooms and so, then
Oh, sure, of course. And if you're playing in a high tier battleship like a Georgia or something like that, I might also, do that. And then when I might drop vigilance and say, go concealment or survive
yeah.
enhanced repair. You know what I mean? But I
It's
mean,
the
that's
reason I
your.
don't have concealment here, because like all in the low tier, it doesn't really matter.
If he's only going to be on low tier, you're right. It's a waste of your points to do it the other way. So, all right, let's put it back to how you had it, and then move on to signals. You have invested in signals.
Just for one, like if it was a 21-point captain, what you could do is like you could actually drop the vigilance and pick up the fire prevention expert if you wanted.
Yeah.
Or you could pick up brisk in addition, although without the concealment it's not as good. You probably be spotted most of the time. Or you pick up additional 1-point skills and take the preventive maintenance on top and stuff like that.
Right. Okay, and then for flags you've invested, you've got ramming, you've got anti-det, fire reduction, flood reduction, HEO boosting, ship speed, secondaries, and heal. Why didn't you boost your fire chance on those secondaries?
Because you only can mount 8 flags.
Okay. I mean, you didn't do the anti-air one. That would have been a meme. But anyway.
I mean, like you would want it for the extra fire chance, but what do you drop?
If I had to choose what to drop, I would
Landing
drop...
and detonation and prey?
No, I wouldn't drop det. I would drop the ramming flag. And honestly, yeah, I mean, now you got the hard decisions, right? Which one? I might drop the flood reduction one. And the reason I'm saying that is because up here with your vigilance and then with this, you're detecting torpedoes farther away. In theory, you're better at dodging. You're going to take less torpedoes, therefore less floods.
Doesn't help you against the double CVs, though.
Oh, of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. Yeah, you could drop speed.
Arc is so
It's
slow. You want to get in brawling distance. Dropping speed is. I mean, it doesn't do much. It's only 1 knot. But then again, you want every single knot you can get on this ship.
it also helps with the ability to turn and maneuver a little bit easier. So
Like, if
okay,
you play it as a regular battleship, you could drop, but then you don't need the fire chances, so...
right. All right, let's get to your replay, and let's see how everything comes into play here. Hawk says sudden ad. Sorry about that. I don't know
So
what's up with
much
Twitch.
talk about secondaries, and the match is not really about secondaries, unfortunately.
Well, you know that happens sometimes, right?
Yeah, it's like you can't force an enemy to get into your secondary range in this ship. Like, you're just too slow. If the enemy doesn't want to get in your secondary range, then there is nothing you can do about it.
Now, I'm gonna do something I normally don't do and just kind of show off the model to you guys so you understand, you know, like, look, this really is the Wyoming, the Tier 4 Wyoming, A-hull of it, right? You see it's got all the casemate secondaries, but it does not have any of the additional secondaries. I mean, there's your single fire ones here, but it doesn't have any of those, like, dual purpose secondaries that we're used to seeing, say, on the, like, the Colorado and stuff like that. So it has legit 0 anti-air. One thing I love about this ship...
Sorry.
One thing I love about this ship, though, is it has a casemate secondary in the butt. So that's kind of fun.
The good thing about those casemate secondaries is also that they are actually quite resilient against HE spam. You don't really lose them.
That's a good point. That's right. So, anyway, yeah, I mean it's a fun ship. And I know many of you watching probably didn't start the game with beta testing and stuff, so this might look all new to you. So that's kind of what I was talking about. You know, why I want to show that to you. So, all right, you were about to say something, Grunty. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just mentioning that the secondaries are rather protected.
Ah, okay.
Already said that. Now, one downside of this build, obviously, is the guns aren't as accurate as they could be. And you lack range.
Yep. You're divisioned with a Nikolai. You guys are mean.
Yeah. We went the full heavy anti-air division.
Simboto, yeah, I know. Oh, look at you with AP loaded.
Yeah, of course. I might be a scrub in battleships, but I'm not that much of a scrub.
But you're right. I mean, a game like this, with Tier 4 and 5, this is... For this ship, it's a large map, right? You want maps like Solomon Islands. This is probably the largest map that you could run into. But fortunately, you've got a Kirov sitting broadside to you.
I think the largest map you could actually into, what the worst would be, is Fault Line.
Yes, Fault Line is probably the worst for you. And... LOL.
I am too high.
So, you know, if you want to get your secondaries in, you can get into the middle of the map, but then you just get super hyper-focused from everybody. So, you're kind of heading this way because you want to, what, secure this flank?
Yeah, there's also not really, like, if you go down the middle, if the enemy just stays down on the flank, you're not in secondary range either.
Right.
So... I just wanted to provide fire support here on this flank so we don't get completely overrun, because my ships here aren't doing that well, and that one battleship has already decided it doesn't want to be here anymore.
Well, yeah, you've got that pink iron Duke that's running away. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So, okay.
But on the other side, like, you can't be too isolated here because it is a CV game, and like the ship literally has no AA. Like, not even a pistol from the captain shooting. Like, nothing.
I know. I know. At least the Nikolai that your buddy's in has like one anti-air gun on it.
Yeah, his captain has a pistol.
Right, right. All liquored up with vodka. Anyway, so what's going on now for you? You're turning around because you've seen that the Iron Duke turning away. You already lost your Emile Breton over there, right?
Yeah, I wanted to get in a kiting position to cut away. Like, I've given up on getting secondaries to use because if I try this, I'm just gonna die very, very quickly if I go in there. It's also a
Okay.
thing with secondary builds in general on battleships. Like, it's great when they work, but don't force it. When the situation isn't there for them, then just play it as a regular battleship.
Mm-hmm.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
And there goes a Guisano.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
Now, at longer ranges, against mostly battleships, I would actually be spamming HE.
You what?
Mm-hmm. Totally.
The problem here is, like, it's Halsey, but I also don't have the talent to switch the shells quicker, so
Right.
I'm always very hesitant to do this with long reloads.
Enemy battleship sighted.
Let's see here.
But it could very well be that you're actually better off shooting HE. Like, I'm not that experienced in battleships.
You have a
I'll trust you there.
25% chance stock of getting a fire. 25% with HE, each shell. And then you add to that, you know, your, whatever it's called, pyrotechnician, whatnot, and then flags. And this ship is actually... I've played this ship, and I've gotten a witherer in 5 minutes before in this
Right.
ship.
I've never played as a G spammer.
Try it. It's a lot of fun.
Maybe I have to.
Yeah, exactly, Simboto. She's pretty nasty. But yeah, you know, if you're at range and you're at angle, it really does help to shoot HE. And yes, Pac, kiting away is where it's at with the Arkansas Beta because of all the guns in the back.
Yeah, you don't want to turn too much. Like, it takes forever to get the guns from one side to another.
Yep,
So if you can actually kite and keep your angle, that's really, really good.
yep. Even with the
Also,
buff
some of
grease the
these-
gears and that other turret reverse module, it's just not enough.
And some of the guns actually have pretty bad angles, especially the one middle one. Like,
I was
the
just
one
gonna
right
mention
behind the
that.
superstructure. So
Mm-hmm.
you gotta be comfortable with not using that gun. Actually, it's not even that. Yeah, it's that one where I have the mouse right now.
Torpedoes
Yep.
direct front.
So
And that's what I was gonna say. Is a lot of people, that's a trap on the earlier battleship lines. Is they try to get all guns to bear, and in the process show broadside and get smacked. Especially the German battleships, because they got that one weird waist gun that only fires like
yeah,
broadside.
And
You know.
what? This is why I don't recommend German battleships for beginners. Because the German battleships actually get away with showing the broadside to use that gun because they
Right.
have the turtleback and they don't get citadels, so it's really teaching bad
Problem
habits.
solved, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you play something else at higher tiers, like for example in American battleships, and you show a bit too much sight, yeah, good
Yep.
night.
Enemy cruiser detected.
Yeah. See, in this battle, there's only 3 total cruisers. Only 2 left now. Kirov, broadside to you, of course. Good. You're able to slap him. And you just ran into your pink Iron Duke buddy.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to him coming
Neither
there.
was that player. So, it happens. At least he's backing up, or she. And there's the kill.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
So what do you got? Wakeful, Shenyang. I mean, you're very lucky that there was no, you know, seal clubbing tier 5 kamikaze, Fujin, whatever.
See, I
the enemy
don't
team.
mind those ships too much because They have to get rather close. The torpedoes on the kamikazes are at only 7 kilometer range.
Yes.
So, and that gives me a chance to get the secondaries going. And the stealth of these torpedoes doesn't matter too much because of the build I'm running.
Well, right.
I'd be much more worried, honestly, about those truly YOLO destroyers that try to rush you and kill you from point blank. Because there's a chance I don't kill them in time if they just try to close the gap.
Of course.
Yeah, kamikazes usually don't try to do that. They just try to get in range, launch the torps, and go dark again.
Mm-hmm.
If they even get spotted launching them. But yeah, like, you don't want to play the ship against tier 5s. Like,
No.
nobody likes being up tiered, but...
Hey, look, your secondaries are active.
Yup.
Look at those things go.
Yeah, look how accurate they are. Like,
Enemy
Yeah.
destroyer foundered.
Yeah, they used to not be like that, and then Wargaming buffed that 2
and
years
that was
ago,
without them actually spooling up with the skill. Like, they
right?
could get even more accurate if they shoot for a prolonged period of time.
That's right. Oh, nice.
Enemy
You actually got Confederate. Hey.
Yeah. In Halsey on a tier 4.
Now, when you proc Halsey with Confederate, you do get a buff to your main battery reload. What is it,
Yeah, look at the
18% or
reload when I
something?
fire now. I think it's 20 actually. I'm not...
It's poor Miyogi. It's a stock Miyogi. Oh, 20%.
Problem solved, sir.
Look at that
Now
reload.
imagine-
23 seconds.
Oh my god, look at that hit. And then imagine now if you had the main armaments mod 3, right? That'd be even more reduced.
Yeah.
But hey, you got yourself a Kraken.
But as usual, like, this was the Confederate and pretty much the last salvo that I got to effectively use because nothing else is in range anymore and the game is over.
Yeah, the game's decided.
That's usually how my Confederates work. Like, you get them right when the game ends.
Well, the same thing with Krakens with Yamamoto, right? You get it and it's
Yep.
like, ah, well. I've only had one game that that Kraken saved the game. And I sent that one to Jingles because it was hilarious. But otherwise, never had that happen before.
It's, in my opinion, a common mistake people make when evaluating these captains. And so, oh, this talent is so strong. But
Yeah.
yes, it is. But A, how often do you get it?
Hmm?
And B, even if you get it, how much longer does the game last when you get it?
And that's, I think, what makes Lutyens such a strong special captain, because his talents proc so easily compared to the other ones, right? Much
Yeah,
more
it's way
reliable.
more consistent. And
Yeah.
usually way sooner.
Right, exactly.
I mean, you can pretty much fast forward. Like, I'm not really getting in range here anymore. I think
Hey.
I get 1 or 2 more shots on the carrier.
We need the
that's
full
about it.
experience here, Grunty.
Oh, okay. You just want to see an Argbeda go 22 knots and hope they don't turn, right?
Yep. I am speed. It's like the movie Titanic, right? You see everybody on you see the two of them on the front bow, and they're doing the the Titanic pose and all that. And, what is it, Murdoch or whatever was the captain, 18 knots I think it was, and they're like, "Wow, that's fast." It's like, no, it's not. Yes, admire the stately turning of the rear turrets.
I
Also-
definitely got lucky this game that the enemy CV never tried. Like, he must be a new player he doesn't know. Like, if you get against a seal clubbing CV at this tier, which is very possible, they probably gonna focus you because they know
Well,
that you're not killing any planes.
I mean, he's going after the Nikolai, which is same thing.
Yeah, now he does, which makes I don't know what he was attacking early on.
Hmm. Unfortunately, he dropped too close, and your buddy there did a Red October, and Torps didn't arm.
These are the best Torps because they don't hit any other target either.
I like this. You might as well. If he's being a stationary airfield, then you might get luck there. Hey! He is still there. At that point, I might
Yeah,
go
that was
full
exactly
broadside
my
and use
thought.
that turret.
I even said I was in voice com with him. Like, I don't think he moved.
Oh my god! Devastating strike. That's why the Nikolai is still OP. Wow. Alright, well, let's take a look at the render of this game. Hi, Big O.
Hello.
Did you
I thought
witness
I'd
that
just have to
craziness?
send it in because it was a good game and it's a ship you don't see very often.
Well, that's why I picked it on my list, yeah, because you don't see it that often. Just got a new air fryer, looking to make some breaded lemon pepper chicken and fries for tonight. Nice. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Sounds
This
delicious.
is big brain time.
Does. So yeah, go figure. You set the ship up for short range secondary memes, and you just can't do it.
Nope. No chance in this game. It's easier to do if you get a domination game, because usually the destroyers are more aggressive and try to go for a cap, and you can go in a standard battle like this that is also pretty much divided into two halves with the way the map works.
Mm-hmm.
Not much you can do.
Look at the Kuma and Shin Yang. Wow. I find it interesting how your flank collapsed, yet you're the strong flank now at the in the second half of this battle.
Yeah, I mean, the ships on our side did a pretty good job of staying alive, and like that one destroyer just overextended alone and died, and now the second destroyer goes in
Mhm.
alone and dies.
Right.
And I mean that clutch shot on the Kirov helped.
Yeah. Arkansas Beta used to be my highest. You can look up your stats and stuff, right, on warships.com or EU, whatever. That used to be
Yeah.
my highest number of kills, my most popular ship. I don't know if it still is. It's now my third. It's still my third. I have
Oh,
300.
you mean on your overall kills?
Well, no, I
Or
guess.
you mean in a as per game?
Well, it has it. Okay, so either they changed it or maybe I'm just thinking of the number of battles, but I have the third highest battle count with the Arkansas Beta on my account. Belfast is the top, Tirpitz is second, Arkansas Beta is third.
I got a Drake game if you got time.
Okay, I used to Seal Cleverson, but what I used to do was I used to way back when I used to play until I had a win in every ship. That's how I first started playing warships before they had all these containers and missions and all that. I just played to have a win in every ship. And once I had, I think, 50 or so, I stopped doing that. But then I would do win in every ship plus a win in every premium ship, right? Because then you put the commanders in, and then you get the bonus to the commanders that way. So that's how I used to do it, and so that's why I had so many games in the Arkansas Beta. I love the hell out of the ship, so that's why I was excited to do this one. Let's see. I have a 71% win rate with my Arkansas Beta. That's higher than my global win rate of 69%.
Okay, I'm curious now. I'm gonna check mine. I actually don't play it that much. Like for one, it's my U account, and I honestly feel dirty playing these Silk Loving ships because I know you're facing a lot of new players at that tier already.
Yep.
And it's just dirty.
I average 4.7 kills per battle with this ship.
Okay, I'm not doing that. That's sure.
So yeah, I enjoy it just a little bit. Actually, why don't I?
So I played it
this?
80 times, and I have a win rate of 76.25% in it.
Well, there's my stats showing up on stream if you want to compare. But yeah, I kind of like it.
But you played way more games. I have
Oh yeah.
1.73 kills. You know
Yep.
what my dirtiest seal clubbing ship is?
Hmm.
V170. 92%
Oh,
win rate.
it's educating the player base. Sure.
Yeah.
But every now and then it's always fun to just go pull up your own stats and look through it and just just think about what you play and everything. Nothing wrong with that. But
It's a fun
anyway,
ship.
it
And
is.
I earned it.
Well, that's right, right? You earned it, so why not?